Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another GT Sport drift setup video. Now this one is very special, certainly if you're into doing the drift trials in the game. This one is an absolute point muncher. You need to get hold of this car and do the setup I've got for you today, and you're not going to be disappointed. I think you'll be blowing all your records out of the water. Now I looked around on YouTube and found this one coming up quite frequently for people's high scores on Suzuka. Obviously they're not putting their builds on there or anything like that, so I've come up with one myself. And yeah, I mean, I took this out within my second run. I'd smashed all previous attempts I'd had on Suzuka on the drift trial. Now obviously I haven't, and as I've said many times before, I don't often do the drift trials. I've been doing them a lot more lately, down to the challenges you guys have been sending to me. But yeah, this one just absolutely smashed everything I'd come up with so far. Now, as you can probably see from the thumbnail, I do think this car is perfectly balanced. It's got all the grip you could need to get you around the corners, but at the same time, that back end just happily comes out. It's one of those things with the drift trials, the point structure and the way it works. It's not about getting the most extreme angle. It's about getting a nice, clean angle around the corner with lots and lots of power and a good pace. And this car just seems to be perfect for it. I'll take you over to the settings now. I'll discuss what I've come up with while we're doing that, and yeah, then I'll show you some more drifting a little bit later in the video. Yeah, so with the NSX, with this one, what I've done, well, what I'm going to show you is what I'm currently using just as a general track drift car. However, when I was going for the high point run that you saw earlier on, I did actually do it with stock power, so just bear that in mind. You might want to play with that a little bit. I don't think you need it all the way up where I've got it now at the 494 brake horsepower. But just play with it until you're comfortable and see what works best for you. So in this current form anyway, I've got the power level set to level 2 there. There's no point taking it any further because you don't gain anything. But then the ratio taken all the way to the top there, which will give you the 494 brake. Weight reduction, I've taken that all the way down to level 3 there and dropped it to 69%, which just gives you 938 kilograms. Traction control is set to 0. I've got comfort hards, both front and rear. Brake balance is left exactly as it was at 0. Ride height wise, just dropped it as usual all the way to the bottom, so 60 and 65. The frequency is set to 2.8 on the front and 2.8 on the rear. The anti-roll bar is 7 on the front and 4 on the back. Compression and rebound is 55 both front and rear for the compression. Rebound 85. Camber angle there set to 3 on the front and 1 on the rear. Toe angle on the front is set out 0.25 and in 0.3 on the rear. Downforce wise on the front, I've taken it all the way to the bottom there, 150, and on the rear down to the bottom again at 450. The differential I've left exactly as it is, and I've set the transmission to fully customized, 168 miles per hour as you know, as the speed, and left everything else as it is. Now again, with that run that I did earlier, I actually had this set much lower. It was set at 149. That seems to work really well for Suzuka, but again, depending on what track you're on and what drift trial you're trying to do, you will have to play around with that a little bit. But for general use and drifting, 168 seems to work quite well. Now what I would like to hear from you guys is your scores that you're going to be getting with this car on Suzuka. It'd be really nice to look down in the comment section and see a list of numbers and you know, how you're all doing. The number I got earlier in that run that I showed you, it wasn't difficult, to be honest with you. I think the low 30s are going to be very doable for most people. But yeah, it would be great to hear what you're getting. Also, if you haven't done so already and you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I've got videos like this going up all the time. Give the video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you all on the next one.